Hi guys, it's Alvi with House of Color. Welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be my 1 week postpartum update video. I know a lot of you guys have been following my pregnancy journey and I've given birth, so I'm no longer pregnant, but I thought this would be a good update video for you guys and tell you guys what's been going on because there has been a lot of things going on lately. So today is Saturday. I gave birth last Thursday, so I'm actually 9 days postpartum. Okay, so I made a whole list of things because I wanted to really talk to you guys about what's been going on with my body, how Preston's handling his brother duties, how he's taking in his sibling, how I'm feeling, postpartum care, my Asian rituals that my mom's been making me do, and breastfeeding. I wanted to talk to you guys about that too because I feel like it's very important. My last video about how I pump an insane amount of breast milk in one day did really well, and I think a lot of you guys tuned into that video and that's how you found me. So I wanted to update you guys on my breastfeeding journey this time around and let you guys know what's been going on. So first thing first is how Preston's been with his little brother. He has actually been very good with Jameson. He has kind of surprised me. He's 21 months right now. I don't really think he has grasped the idea that he has a little brother or he knows what a little brother is. But he has been very good with Jameson. He has been very gentle with him. He gives him lots of kisses and hugs, and we try to explain to him that, you know, this is your little brother, this is Am, and to love him and take care of him. So he's been very gentle and acknowledge his brother's presence, and he hasn't been jealous or anything like that, which I'm very surprised too because he's not a very jealous baby in general, but I do see some jealousy tendencies here and there, and he does have a little bit of an attitude problem, but around his brother he's very nice, very sweet, very gentle, so I'm really happy about that. My weight loss so far, so Jameson was born 7 pounds and I was like in shock because if you guys have been following my pregnancy journey, you know that around 35 weeks, they started monitoring me twice a week because they thought the baby was very small, and he measured in pretty small in the ultrasounds, and that's why I was seeing the doctors twice a week. And so for me to have like a 7-pound baby, that was like super surprising for everybody, the doctors, the nurses, and you know, when I had Preston, he was only 5 pounds 14 ounces, not even 6 pounds yet. So when they told me 7 pounds, I was like, what? Are you sure? So yeah, Jameson was born 7 pounds. I think a couple days after I gave birth, I got on the scale and I weighed myself and I was exactly minus 7 pounds. So when I was pregnant, I think I was like 139 or 138, something like that. Maybe even 140, I'm not sure. But I was minus 7 pounds. I was like, how funny, you know, I lost exactly 7 pounds of Jameson, and I've been kind of weighing myself the last couple days here and there, and I am down to 121. So I am about, I want to say, let's see, I was like 112, 113 pre-pregnancy. So 113, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I'm about 8 pounds away from my pre-pregnancy weight. And to be honest with you guys, I don't even know how I did it. I think I've been pretty lucky to be able to just kind of lose the pregnancy weight very fast. It's only been a week since I've given birth. But the last 5 pounds, you guys, it sticks around for months, okay? Based on my last pregnancy and my experience with that one, those last 5 pounds are stubborn, okay? They don't want to go nowhere. They just want to hang out in the areas you don't want them to hang out. It could be just water weight or my uterus shrinking or whatever. I'm thinking this is how I've been able to shed the weight off so fast. I think a lot of water has helped. I've been drinking tons and tons of water, and breastfeeding. I think breastfeeding helps a lot because when you breastfeed, you burn a lot of calories. It's like working out, but you're not really working out. Like your baby is just sucking the calories out of you. So that's really been helping, and I've been eating a lot healthier than my last pregnancy. I remember last time after I gave birth, I was eating a whole bunch of junk food like cookies and chips and everything I wanted. And this time I'm a little bit more conscious about what I intake in my body because I want to lose the weight a lot faster. So I don't want to put on a whole bunch of unnecessary weight that I don't need. So yeah, breastfeeding has helped. How I am recovering. So if you guys have been watching my vlogs, you know that my mom is here visiting and she's taking care of me, and I am thanking the gods for her and for her being here, because without her, I literally would have died this whole week that we've been back from the hospital. Having her here is such a blessing. She's been taking care of Preston. She's been cooking me lots of really great delicious meals that is so healthy for you postpartum. I'm Vietnamese and we have a lot of bizarre Asian rituals that she makes me do postpartum. So one of the things that I'm not allowed to do is I'm not allowed to drink cold water, although I have snuck in a few ice Cokes here and there. So no cold water. I'm only drinking hot water or warm water, and that's supposed to help with keeping your body warm. It's all about keeping your body warm, because I guess like according to the Asian traditions, when you give birth, your body is super weak. And I mean, that's just in general, your body is super weak. You just gave life to somebody, okay? Your body is very weak and vulnerable, and your pores are just like wide open. So she has been very cautious with me, and she's been telling me like no cold water. So I've been drinking a lot of hot water. So she makes me hot water in these containers and it keeps warm for like a day. That's really great. And so I've been drinking a lot of warm water. And then no showering, which is totally disgusting. And she told me I couldn't shower for like months, and I was like, okay, calm down. Okay, I'm gonna do what you want me to do, but the no showering for months thing, I don't think so. I can't do it. I was like, you know what, Mom? Can I please shower? And she's like, okay, that's fine. You can shower, but make it quick. And when I showered, I made the room very, very hot. That way I'm not cold, and a very quick shower, because your pores are like wide open apparently, and you know, you can get very sick from that. Those are just old ancient traditions. No going outside. So I'm not allowed to go outside. She said that I'm not allowed to go for like 3 months, and I'm like, what? Hello, I need to live. Last time with Preston, I did it for a month. This time, I'm gonna try to just do it for like 3 weeks, you know, wean it off a little bit. So yeah, no going outside except to doctor's appointments and things like that. No walking around for sure. I'm only allowed to just lay down, and I try to lay down as much as I can, but you know, I can't just be like a potato all the time. I'm a naturally very active person, so for me to just lay there and ask people to do stuff for me, it makes me uncomfortable. So yeah, I'm supposed to lay there, no walking around. I have to stay warm and covered up. Today I'm actually wearing a v-neck, okay, to film. Yeah, so I'm supposed to stay warm. And then no sour foods, absolutely no sour foods, because apparently if you eat sour foods later on in life, you're not going to be able to hold your pee. I don't know. No beef and no shellfish. So those are kind of the things off the top of my head that I know, that I wrote down that I'm not supposed to be doing. So on the topic of postpartum meals, she's been prepping me a lot of really yummy soups. She made this papaya with pork hock soup, and the last time I had to eat this the whole month, and it was like disgusting. But this time she didn't make me eat it so much. We only ate it for a few days, and I was fine with that. But yeah, that soup is supposed to help you produce a lot of milk, which I think it really helped, because my milk came in pretty fast this time, and I'm able to produce a lot of milk too. And then she's making me a lot of things with ginger in it, because ginger is supposed to keep your body warm and healthy, and it's supposed to be really good for you and help you heal and stuff like that. So basically anything with a lot of soup is supposed to help with my milk production. So as far as breastfeeding is concerned, this time around I knew that I wanted to nurse a lot more than pump, because the last time with Preston, I made the mistake of giving him the bottle too early, and that's why he preferred the bottle over nursing, and that's why I was forced to pump exclusively, because he did not want to nurse at all. And I think pumping is great, but it also has its downfalls. Like for instance, you're constantly washing your pump parts, and I know a lot of people, they don't wash their pump parts after each pumping session, but I like to do that. I guess I read on the internet that you can just pump and then put your pump parts in the fridge and then reuse it. But then whenever I did that, I saw like the gunk of milk that was like stuck in the tubes and stuff, and I didn't like that. I thought it was kind of gross. So I washed my pump parts after each pump. And you know, when you're pumping every 2 hours the whole day, that's a lot of washing and pumping, and it was just a lot of work and very tiring on my body, because I wouldn't skip any pump sessions. I would pump religiously every 2 hours, and I'm exhausted, you know, because I'm taking care of my newborn. I'm pumping. As soon as I put him down, like I would get something to eat, and then it would be time to pump again. So it was very, very exhausting. And to be honest with you guys, the pump is no measure compared to your baby. So the baby's suction is way better than any pump invented. So I made it my goal to try to nurse this time much more, and I would say that I'm doing pretty well in it. But you guys, it was very hard and exhausting to get here. So what happened was Jameson went to the NICU right after I gave birth to him. We only got to do skin to skin for a couple minutes, and he went to the NICU right away because he couldn't breathe on his own and he had fluid in his lungs. I couldn't feed him right away, and I knew that if I wasn't able to feed him, that I would kind of not be able to get my milk. And first few days, you're producing colostrum, and colostrum is so healthy for your baby. Like any little drop helps tremendously, and any little drop that I was able to savor, I would feed him, because that colostrum is so powerful and is so healthy for your baby. He was in the NICU for about a day and a half, and I didn't know what to do because I wasn't healthy enough to go to the NICU, and I kind of had a fever. The doctors were debating whether or not they were gonna allow me to go to the NICU because I had this like weird fever, and then they cleared me of the fever, so I was able to go to the NICU and feed Jameson. But I did manage to pump a few times prior to going to the NICU so that I can get the colostrum going and get my body to start making the colostrum or the milk or whatever. I was able to extract probably 4 mLs of colostrum the very first time I pumped, and I was so excited about that because that's a lot of colostrum, you guys. So we put it in syringes, and then I sent to the NICU, and then they fed it to Jameson right away. Luckily, a few hours after being in the NICU, I was cleared to go there and nurse him. And when I nursed him, you guys, it was so amazing. I would have to say that he actually didn't latch on right away. It took him about 15-20 minutes to latch on, and I just had to be patient and hold him and do a little skin to skin to get him used to me holding him, because he, you know, he came right out of the NICU and he didn't have any that loving human motherly contact. It took him about 15 minutes to latch on, and then when he did latch on, I was so happy, and you know, I felt so relieved because now I can actually feed him. And the nurse in the NICU was like, okay, let's shoot for 5 minutes. You know, hopefully he can latch on for 5 minutes and that'll be good. So he actually latched on and drank for an hour. It was like 30 minutes each side, and I was ecstatic, and the nurse was so happy about it too. And so I was very, very happy. Friday, about like 3 o'clock, he was able to go back to the room with us. And then that night, you guys, it was insane. He was cluster feeding like crazy. And if you guys don't know what cluster feeding is, it's insane, okay? So basically, they just feed and feed and feed and feed and feed. And you think they're hungry or full or whatever, like you just fed them and you put them down, and then they want to feed again. The cluster feeding started at 8 o'clock at night, and it went all the way till 10 o'clock in the morning. So basically what happened was I would feed him for 30 minutes on the left side. Then I would feed him 30 minutes on the right side. And then I would put him down, and then 15 minutes later, he'll get up and feed again. So this was happening all night long. And I think the longest stretch he slept was for an hour. And so I only got about a 2-hour nap that night, and it was so exhausting on my body. You just gave birth, so you're tired, you can't move, the hospital bed is uncomfortable, and so it was just very excruciating and very hard on my body. But I'm so glad I stuck it out, because that cluster feeding really helped to get my milk going, and I got my milk about on, I want to say, either Saturday night or Sunday. So the cluster feeding, that's what it's for. It's for your milk to come in. I was so exhausted, and I thought maybe he's just like using me for a pacifier, because what if he's still hungry? It was very hard on my body, and I can totally feel for new moms out there that has never experienced this, because with Preston, I remember, like, I don't remember him cluster feeding in the beginning, but also we did a lot of bottle feeding too in the beginning with formula and supplementing, because I just had no colostrum. I didn't know what I was doing. My nipples hurt like crazy, and he was latching on wrong. So that's why it was hurting so bad. But this time with Jameson, I'm a little bit more experienced, so he latched on properly, and so my nipples and my boobs weren't hurting as bad. And so I was able to withhold the pain and ride it through. So we've been nursing ever since. I haven't given him a bottle at all. And I know that maybe if I wait too long, he might reject the bottle, and that could blow up my face, because then I'd be really stuck to the guy. So I'm probably going to introduce the bottle here in a couple weeks, but I really want to establish the nursing thing properly, so that way he doesn't reject the boob like Preston did. So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on with my breastfeeding thing. And then I've also been pumping, but not as much. I pump in the mornings, and then I pump at nighttime. So I try to empty out the breast in the mornings after he has his feeding, and then at night before I go to bed, because when you're sleeping you make a lot of milk. So I want to empty out the breast and get the milk flowing and get it going, and produce a lot of milk. So I've been able to store away maybe a few ounces of milk already. So I'm really happy about that. I think this time around has been a lot easier, because we're not constantly washing bottles and pump parts and not stressing about that. So I'm very happy about that. I think that's all I have for today's update video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave me a comment down below if you have any questions. If you haven't seen the birth vlog, I'll link it down below for you. And I think that is all for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to do so. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye! Cloistered in injustice.